Wait, oh, that was for two?
Are you formerly the videographer?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, the pub's not open. I just want to make sure you all know that. Okay, so life jackets we got above here, and we also have them in the front stowaway there. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay, cool. Good to go. Well done.
It's like asking me, why don't you stop looking my way? If you can see me with your eyes shut anyway. You run around and walk along, walk away. Feel like a child, lean in and ask you how to play. Working hard, holding back, putting away.
Rocks, oh boy.
I've thought of saying,
This is a conclusion.
What is a conclusion?
This is a mineralization deposit.
Oh, are you taking?
Yeah.
Conclusions aren't really 100% as to why they form or how they form.
Right. So it's like a concretion is something that's shaped weirdly like this. Forms weirdly.
Logs, kind of.
Right. Wow. The more you know.
asking why we go mingle with the people. 'Cause I don't need.
No, that is nice.
Oh, there's nice. Yeah, that's logs coming somewhere.
Glacier? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a glacial erotic.
Oh.
It's obviously not related to the stuff
I
here.
don't think it's a...
It's just the power of scientists to get fascinated by anything never ceases to amaze me.
This feels very like my home actually.
Oh.
Family's from.
Like England or?
Yeah, from near Liverpool, but we live like in a coastal town. And we
Right.
have this kind of rock.
So, quite frequently along faults, yeah, it's pretty soft, so it's probably not. Quite frequently along fault zones, the material gets all gouged up and gets really soft. So, like this, for example, was in there, and that material is just kind of rubbing off.
Is it because it's soaked up water and it's all
It's because
spongy?
movement along the fault just pulverizes the rock and leaves behind a really soft, powdery substance. It forms during an earthquake,
Oh.
and it's basically kind of like melted rock
Oh, okay.
from the friction of movement along the earthquake.
Right.
It's very cool, yeah.
Huh. So much detail just beneath our feet.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Can you say that again?
There's a little fault here. There's a fault! Woohoo! There's a fault!
Whose fault? Sorry.
'Cause I don't need, to leave. You know, even though that's all I
it's all content in some way or another. You just gotta be creative with it. Well, I mean,
Or you just do it and it's serendipitous, like
I'm not planning anything. I'm just taking a lot so that then I have a lot to work with. It should work out well. I had mentioned earlier that EON-ROSE is an Earth monitoring network proposed for all of Canada. Canada surprisingly lags far behind in monitoring networks compared to the USA or other countries, making EON-ROSE very needed. Before the Protection Island tour, Day 5 of the conference was largely focused on discussing how to set up EON-ROSE across Canada. While I couldn't contribute much to the discussions, I did have a hand at making people get off task.
So are we resilient to Carrington event? I mean, let's take out...
I'll say categorically no.
What is a Carrington event?
All right, so again, it's 1859, it's 1850s. One day, a day where aurora were observed in the tropics, like in Cuba. The high-tech network of the day was the telegraph network. And the telegraph station started sparking spontaneously and even caught fire in some cases all over the world. And people were, what the heck was that? You know?
It's like magic back then.
And Kelly, we figured this out. Carrington related it to the sun. He'd been studying the sunspots.
Oh.
They realized there was some sort of clear causal link between sunspot occurrences and this thing that had happened. So that was Carrington. And that kind of started space weather.
Which is really mind-blowing. But can we bring this down?
These discussions were led by a very awesome lady, Dr. Katherine Boggs. Katherine, did you want to just introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm a geology professor here at Mount Royal University. When I came here, I expected to be teaching geology and then doing geological research. But as we'll discuss, my research has definitely gone off in quite a tangent from what I originally would have thought I would be doing by now.
Nice. There's one thing though that's always interested me is actually, like, you always say that you were in the military. Do you want to give some background on that?
So a parallel thing that I did through my bachelor's and grad school, and then a large part of the beginning of my career here at Mount Royal was with the Royal Canadian Naval Reserves. And I did 22 years as a naval warfare officer.
Wow. That's pretty cool. When did you pursue science?
I was originally in biology.
But
then in my third year, I took a first-year geology course, and that really got me excited about the geosciences.
Right.
When I was in grade 3, grade 4, when we were doing rocks and minerals, I knew then that I really liked rocks and minerals. But then I forgot because we didn't do rocks and minerals through junior high school and high school.
I don't think they're really taught much about geoscience at schools. You know, physics, biology, chemistry are the sort of, and maths are the sciences that are actually systematically taught. Geoscience is very much second fiddle to those.
Yeah, because I think you mentioned like that there's like this issue in geoscience that there's like not enough interest from young people, or
so worldwide the numbers in the geosciences are going down in post-secondary across the planet essentially. There's not going to be enough qualified geosciences to keep up mineral exploration, and without the minerals, society won't run.
As soon as the community's on side, I don't care if the federal government supports EON-ROSE. If the community says we're going to do it, it's going to happen.
Yeah. So outreach and education, not only for building resilience, but also just engaging the community.
I mean, that whole role of engagement is really pretty fundamental.
So then that's kind of like leading right directly into the projects that we've been working on directly, which are the Community Science Liaison Program. Did you want to kind of talk a bit about that?
Sure. So the whole idea behind that is to create the capacity for kindergarten grade 12 students to do citizen science projects that are parallel to what the scientists are working on. So what we're trying to build is the capacity for having those students access the data from the stations that we're about to build for the EON-ROSE program, and to make that data accessible. And that's not straightforward. But the other side of that Community Science Liaison program is having the scientists go into the classrooms, talk to the students about the projects that they're working on, and then ask the scientists also to work in what the students are talking about. So to really make that into a two-way conversation. So part of what we're trying to do is make is to break that barrier, so that the students have direct contact with scientists at least once or twice a year, and then that they start realizing that these scientists are human beings.
Scientists are human beings. I think that is a good way to put it. We spent a good part of the evening discussing how to bring science into classrooms across Canada. While scientists are all speaking to each other in another language, projects like these are the solution towards bridging the gap between the public and science. Not only are kids getting fun experiences with science early on, but scientists themselves are getting great communication practice. And while the projects I'm working on with Katherine are to do with educating kids on COVID and vaccines, I realize it is all related. Many people do not trust scientists, and this in itself creates a lot of problems.
Make it sound like I haven't even been listening to a word you say with your back to the wall.
Scientists dedicate their entire lives to the studies, making them experts in their fields. So they know a lot about many important issues. But at the end of the day, they are people, and they just want what's best for everyone.
Thinking there has to have been
I guess because you can never assume who's in the audience, really.
Yeah.
You're absolutely sure.
must go this time. I know how to go about it like I don't mind.
I'm gonna take a photo. I shouldn't take a photo of people's property.
To you, my dear, again. Good
Collided with an island dark, volcanic eruptions occurred as mafic minerals dark. Their bulbous glossy margins have made their mark on the ayrshire coast. So sing in my mind, this Ophir light brought the seafloor to the surface and Ophir light.
Sorry, continue.
The
Sorry
seafloor
for interrupting.
Brought the seafloor to the surface and out into the light. Which we saw like there on the first beach. We saw
You got this.
I don't usually do the. I usually just. Honeycomb weathering. Why should I care about this? Because I'm a geologist. Great margin. Very nice.